Louder with Crowder Studios, protected exclusively by Walther and Hopper.
Hey there! Everyone here at Louder with Crowder is really excited to bring you our annual Halloween Spooktacular. This year it's coming to you live on October 31st from the Rudder Theater Complex at Texas S&M with an overflow room also located at the Rudder Complex. All of your Louder with Crowder favorites will be there, including Quarter Black Garrett, right? We're gonna have a costume contest and an after party for Mug Club members only, so bring your costumes and your mugs. Go to louderwithcrowder.com/tour to get yours today, and we will see you on Halloween at the Texas S&M Takeover. What, A&M? That's a drummer I like to call just snares, nothing else.
Oh.
I'm only playing the snares. It's in the name, just snares here. Hey, huge show today. We have the HodgeTwins on the program.
Oh, look at that.
They've been making the rounds in the conservative movement now, which is very disconcerting because we're the ones who opened up that box. We'll be talking about the Nobel Peace Prize and Greta Thunberg, which leads me to question of the day before I introduce, of course, our regulars. Do you pay attention at all to who gets awarded the Nobel Peace Prize? And has it ever occurred to you that it's a sham, that it is totally... I mean, you seem like the Wizard of Oz. You peek behind the curtain, only it's a bunch of globalist socialists who want to destroy the world. I'll be making the case later on, as rumors circulate, that Greta Thunberg will be winning. We don't know it yet as of the time of this taping. Sure. We have my half-Asian lawyer, Bill Richmond, in with us. How are you, sir?
Hello. Wonderful.
Good. Quarter Black Garrett, how are you?
What's up? What's up, dog?
That is awful. I think your dad's probably Indonesian, not black. What's the wine of the day,
Wow,
G. Morgan Jr.?
Insult. Justin Isosceles.
Justin Isosceles.
Mathematical terms.
Do you know, okay, what is an isosceles? What makes an isosceles triangle?
Has two sides of equal length.
Well, it's incredibly uninteresting. Okay.
I Googled it.
Moving on. So really, I do want to hear about you in the Nobel Peace Prize. We'll be talking about that a little more later on. But first, leading the news, Skrillex had a baby with Marvel Comics Mojo and or Mojo. And yeah, Mojo. And this happened. The slogan for that event was, "All trans lives matter?"
Question mark?
I don't even know how they marketed it.
That is so terrible. Oh my God.
It's the stuff that gives children nightmares.
Yes.
Of course, by the way, want to take a serious moment. Our thoughts and prayers obviously go out to Bernie Sanders, who suffered a heart attack this week, which unfortunately is leading questions now into his candidacy. It should be noted that it does thankfully seem like it was minor. Was Senator Sanders likely to return to the campaign trail? And he's turned lemons into lemonade, and I do respect that about him. He's been using this opportunity to raise campaign funds through sales of his limited edition Bernie Operation.
Doctor, I've got campaign finance paid.
You've got larceny in your heart.
Your arteries are clogged.
Operation!
You should have taken jogs.
Operation!
Your back is off the charts.
Operation!
You need a baboon heart.
Operation. Remove the pieces and collect your fee. But don't touch the aortic valve. Operation by Bernie Sanders.
Now, many of you are probably asking, did the question occur to us whether this was too soon? It did. It did. And we went ahead with it anyway. And I want to be really clear what that means. That means scheduling the shoot, preparing the green screen, procuring the costumes, finding a rubber heart, photoshopping an operation game. There were many crossroads opportunities where we could have stopped.
Yeah, tons of
Could have turned back,
off-ramps.
but we never did.
So I just want you to know that if you're still here with us right now, you saw the ride, You bought a ticket anyway. This ain't no pony ride, lady. By the way, a little bit of I don't want to say irony. It's not really ironic. Alanis Morissette was wrong about that with the song. Coincidentally, the same procedure that Bernie Sanders had same day, 3 to I believe 11 weeks in Canada.
Oh, great system.
And in the UK, I think it's 7 weeks. Except if you're a senator, if you're a member of parliament, you get it right away.
Yeah,
Right.
But it's
because
free.
nothing's elitist about that.
Special treatment at all.
Not at all. Also in political news, Ilhan Omar officially filed for divorce from her husband, Ahmed, amid affair allegations, showing once again that sibling rivalry knows no bounds.
Gosh. Can you imagine using the defense, yeah, I married my brother, but I divorced him, so I'm okay? Like, is that really what she's going to be telling people? Like,
we should be clear, this is not her brother. She was married to another person.
Yes, right.
Who was her brother. But we really just want to focus on the fact that she banged her brother.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the takeaway.
I think that was the lead. Yeah.
Don't you have it
should be.
when you build a legal case, you have a few kind of tenets, you're like, this is the central theme.
Sure. Yeah. You've got some lead points. You're
Yeah.
top contention, and you go strong with it, and she goes strong with bang your brother.
Yeah, pretty much.
She goes strong with the
it seems
brother,
to me
yeah,
that
yeah.
intercourse with biological brother should be right at the top.
it should
of the
be.
list.
Should be.
It's noteworthy. In what some are calling long overdue reform for the church, Pope Francis is now considering lifting the celibacy requirements for priests.
Oh, very nice.
Good news for actually specifically Cardinal McCarrick's controversial take an altar boy, leave an altar boy bodega tray. So he is thrilled.
Yeah. Oh man.
It can be one long
man.
day.
And there are some people who I know take an altar boy, but they never leave an
They
altar
never
boy.
leave
messed up.
an altar boy.
That's
You didn't
what
think you could get worse, and then that
here.
was it. That was
Oh my gosh.
truly raised by wolves.
It's terribly, on kind of a serious note, like a very misguided policy by the Catholic Church, I think. Sorry if any Catholic fans are offended. But at the very least, it was misguided. It could have been a land grab. So,
Yeah, could have been a land grab.
And what it turned into is abusing children.
Yeah, what didn't turn into a land grab? It's
a little
turned
unfortunate.
turn into a grab. We'll bleep it. People don't know what I said. You don't know what I said. Operation! The band this has been all over the news. The band Nickelback saw a 569% surge in downloads, I think on LimeWire, after
Does that say from 1 to
Can't
5?
track that.
maybe
1 to
Kazaa.
6?
After Donald Trump tweeted a meme, HuffPost said the surge happened after the president shared a doctored clip of Nickelback's photograph music video. Of course, most outraged by the tweet was Creed.
Oh no.
Anyone have any comments on that? No?
I hate both of them.
Can you tweet my picture?
No.
Can you make me relevant?
Nope.
They were so
do it.
happy. They're so happy.
I am still on Friendster. I bet all on Zanga.
Oh, bad idea.
Gerald B's on Grindr.
That would make sense.
Cause he likes men's other butt. Someone tell his fake wife.
That's a beard.
Segment.
That's the whole thing.
It's a second.
How's that voice
Please
doing?
come back, Creed. It's only for me.
Come on, Scott.
We love it.
Come on.
Back.
I don't want to
like
say
it.
it. If I mention them, I feel like they're Candyman. If I mention
Yeah,
their
they'll
name
show
3
up.
times in the mirror, they'll show up like, did you call my name here? Is there a bar mitzvah? I don't know. I assume that's what they're doing.
They're just waiting right behind the
The
mirror.
soul-sucking
Ready to go.
performances for kids.
They're going to be dropping their mixtape with Will.i.am and the other Black Eyed Pea who does this. And it is going to be lovely. Speaking of lovely, here's a cute story about animals. The Houston Zoo has unveiled a new webcam that broadcasts live footage from the exhibits 24/7.
yeah.
24/7.
So cute.
No.
Except for actually between 1:30 and 2 a.m. when the producers are up against a deadline, struggling to fill in the audience. So this has come in handy for A Little Late with Lily Singh.
Growing up, sex was so confusing. Here are the things that I thought were actually true. Okay? I thought that girls had dozens of holes, and then when a boy picked the right one, the prize would be a baby. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's what we call in the industry seat fillers.
That seems like torture.
Hey, she's one of you, Bill. I mean, Asian is
She
very
is.
broad.
Oh.
You proud of that? You proud of your contribution?
People with hair.
You had fireworks, noodles, and that broad.
Yeah, she's awesome. Nothing makes everything else.
Unironically
nothing
awesome.
makes everything else seem funnier than Lily Singh.
Hey, do we have the next Photoshop?
No.
No, we do not. Okay.
It was too rough.
Let me
We had to
explain.
cut it.
We had to cut it.
Really?
Yeah, I will say this. We had to cut it. It revolved around Jeffrey Chimpanstein. Yeah. But we did realize
rest in peace.
Video
you can
cameras.
show
Video cameras.
You can show someone having their aortic valve being torn out.
But
the second you have a chimpanzee in a suit with a silver wig hanging himself with a
Difficult.
bed sheet, people just think it's sad.
Yeah.
We have standards. Yeah.
Here comes
Yeah, it's a
PETA
little too
suing
much.
you, basically, right?
I guess moving into this next story. I guess it's entertainment news.
That's a good use of the
let's
question.
go with
Let's
that.
stretch.
Noted prison reform activist Kim Kardashian. Yeah, it sounds official. She tweeted her support of Brendan Dassey, that the kid from Making a Murderer. Do you guys remember? Yeah, Brendan Dassey. She reached out to Dassey to notify him of her support in a phone call obtained exclusively by us here at Louder with Crowder.
Hello? Is this Brendan? Yeah? Hi, this is Kim Kardashian. Yeah? And I don't know if you saw, but I tweeted that I support you. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah? Yes. Oh. So do you wanna make a sex tape?
I can answer that. She probably does.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No. She
likely
doesn't.
would.
They already have one. You can't do the sequel yet.
That's
You
true.
release the first one.
You can't do
It
the
just
sequel
doesn't
yet.
work that way. It's
Oh,
like Memento.
gosh.
Come on.
That was one of those. Did you guys watch Making a Murderer when that came out?
No.
Yeah,
Oh my
watched,
gosh.
yeah.
It was one of those
I
things.
refused.
Talk about just setting a narrative that was false. Like,
Right.
maybe he didn't do this, but what they don't tell you is that the guy was guilty of sexual assault multiple times. The guy dipped his cat in motor oil and burned it alive.
Definitely a bad
What?
guy.
Yeah, think about that.
Not even Hitler did that
If Donald
stuff.
Trump had done that, people wouldn't be
He's literally
complaining
Hitler.
about the cops planting some keys in a Chevrolet Cavalier. I don't know,
Oh my
Chevrolet
God.
Cavalier or whatever it was, a
Yeah,
RAV4. They wouldn't be complaining about that. They would say, kill Donald Trump by any means possible if he boiled the cat alive.
Yeah.
Don't take that out of context and say, don't
Right.
send
No,
it
no,
to
no.
Donald. That kill Donald. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
It's already
This is
clipped.
an analogy at this point.
No.
What are you doing, the guy from New
Making
York?
sure they know.
No, you know talent.
I like Gerald's comparison of burning a cat in motor oil is worse than Hitler.
No, when he was a kid,
That is what he
Hitler
said.
killed animals and put them in his his drawers and his where his clothes were. And I was like, that's
Yeah, but he's not a
it's
kid.
worse than like boiling him alive is worse.
Practically a good guy.
Where did you go to school?
I mean, you could almost
Killing an animal with like a gun is different than boiling it alive.
I will say this. While that is disturbing,
Your whole digging technique.
they both die, but one's really painful, the other one's
Just
not.
stop. Nobody's with you on
I
this.
think
I'm fine.
listen. I don't want to gang up on Joe. Joe's not wrong. I just don't think that for anyone else. I don't think our most significant grievance with Hitler
It's not.
is the cat.
It's not. It's the beginning of it, though. It's the beginning.
I don't think that's
But that
a
was the
primary
crux of his
concern.
argument. His later work.
It's in.
In the history
We got
books,
to this kid early enough.
in the
is what I'm
history
saying.
books, the cat breeder maybe would be a guest writer in the foreword.
Yeah.
But it's not a chapter. A driver in a car crash
above you guys.
is now being accused. This is a story that came from Orlando of offering the victim free food at Chili's if the victim didn't call the police.
Oh, good
Which is
deal.
scary when you think about it. Even
Yes.
more sinister, had the victim called the cops, the man threatened to take them to Applebee's.
Club Apple.
Look,
no good.
look. They have great chips at Chili's. We've had some good long conversations there where you kick my ass a few
I
times.
actually I used to like Chili's, but have you been
They
there
work.
recently?
No.
They have plastic silverware now,
What?
and you
What?
order on but it's not even an iPad.
It's like a little
It's like
off-brand
an
iPad.
Amazon Fire.
Yeah.
that doesn't work.
Yeah, they got them on sale. It's totally different. They're just, you know
Oh
why?
my
Because
gosh.
millennials, and this is one thing, millennials are good about this. They're not
Yeah.
they're not going out to franchises when they can pay the same amount and get something better and support a mom and pop business.
Yeah. I think all the Chili's have closed. I haven't seen one lately. Not all of them,
There's
but
still a few.
a lot of them have closed.
Well, Applebee's,
Sucks.
my wife and I, they used to have the 2 for $20.
Yeah.
When we were poor, so we'd go for a night. And what happens with Applebee's is they sort of suck you in with one good appetizer. The spinach and
Yes.
artichoke dip. Have you had that?
Yeah.
It's very good. So you go, you're like, oh, there's a happy hour. I'll have a beer. And you're with some friends, and you have the spinach artichoke dip, and you go, you know what? This is really good. I should give Applebee's a shot. And so you go there for the
Don't
dinner. You
do
think
it.
that the sirloin's got to be about on par with the spinach artichoke. It's not even close.
No.
Yeah.
It's complete
Nothing
trash.
else.
Like there's top sirloin. And this, I wouldn't even say it's like bottom sirloin. It's like sphincter sirloin. I don't know what they do. It's
it
just
has a hole in the
Yeah.
middle where they cut it out.
It's
Like,
just sinew
weird.
with a gap. Finally, there's the latest, of course, impeachment drama before we get to the Nobel Prize and the Hodge-Twins. Democrats are considering distorting the voice and the appearance of the whistleblower at the center of this. House Democrats, I have this from the Hill, House Democrats are looking to prevent the whistleblower from being identified, fearing Republicans could leak who it is. Obviously, based on the previous whistleblower not having first-hand knowledge, people are questioning the validity of these whistleblowers. And some in House leadership are actually concerned that there could be a weakness here in it could actually be the current one, maybe a White House plant or troll.
Listen, this Ukraine thing, frankly, is small potatoes, okay? I know where the real skeletons are buried, truly. Listen, if you're going to impeach, all you need to do is look at Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis, Baba Booey.
Got it.
You had me.
Got us again.
It's amazing to me that Democrats are more concerned with distorting the image of the whistleblower than they are with actually verifying the whistleblower and validating the claims.
I'm kind of confused, Bill. Maybe you can help with this. If you've already released the transcript of the phone call, how is it possible to have a second whistleblower for the phone call? I don't understand.
Yeah, how does that work?
Sorry, I'm a lawyer, not a magician.
It's like coming in and saying, "Oh, I'm a whistleblower for Steven's episode he did last week that everybody saw." Well, we'll just look at the episode.
Well, yeah, we don't need you.
What's interesting about it is that it's widely acknowledged that the whistleblower doesn't actually have firsthand knowledge. So
right.
So who cares?
It's literally just finding anyone off the street and just saying, "Well, I would like for you to just make things up."
Yeah.
I mean, this wouldn't ever work in a court of law. I mean, it's not actually evidence, but
right.
Why don't you tell us anyways?
It's like, wait, hold on a second. Are you really a whistleblower, or are you just presenting the prestige?
This is almost worse than killing the cat in oil.
I saw Trump in the Ukraine, and I smell cat. Thank you. Thank you.
that.
Washington Post says we'll keep you anonymous for this.
Yeah. Source close to the White House.
All right, let me ask you guys here. How many of you had done research on the Nobel Peace Prize before this?
Just a little when Barack won it.
Yes.
And mostly I saw your rap video.
What?
And honestly, I will say this. I felt bad when Barack Obama won it because I did that Peace Prize video. So I did some research. I thought we had done a segment on this here at the show, and we hadn't because I've talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I want to tie this into why everything wrong with Greta Thunberg, why she is just the worst. I'm not going to say anything that could get me banned. She's just the pits. But when it comes to Barack Obama, how many months had he been president? It was very quick. I don't remember the exact amount of time.
They had nominated him, and we're talking about it well before even that point.
Well, I think they were playing politics, and honestly, I felt like Barack Obama was thrust into it. Like, I think he woke up and said, "Good news, Mr. President, you won the Nobel Peace Prize." He was like, "This
You're probably right.
I'm never going to hear the end of it. Donald Trump's going to ask for my long form. Bert, this is not going to go well.
This is going to lead
my
to
Peace
things.
Prize application.
I don't think he wanted it. I don't think he wanted it. He knew he didn't deserve it.
No, I mean, I think if anything, he knew the problems of not just going with merit, right? If you're just saying, "Oh, I want to play politics, I want to check boxes, I want to go for the media," you're going to inevitably make decisions that even make the people who have been selected leery of the fact that they have been selected.
Yeah,
and I think Obama was that way. I think he realized he hadn't done anything at that point to deserve it, and then it really watered down the prize and made it something it
because
wasn't.
he is a connoisseur of reaching high positions of authority without having done anything.
Yes.
Oh. Yes.
Voting present has its benefits.
Well, also, academic records sealed.
Ooh,
how do you get to Occidental and then Harvard?
Harvard.
How do you do that? How do you do that? I have no idea.
Still, we're all trying to find out.
We're trying to figure it out. Okay, so
Where are the documents?
Let's give some context here. Let's not go chemtrails. So everything we're about to say regarding the Nobel Peace Prize is legitimate. I cannot vouch for whatever Quarter Black Garrett said. Let's give some context. The 16-year-old, obviously, Greta Thunberg, for those of you who forget, she is continuing to make headlines. This week, for being the favorite, we don't know right now, at the time of this taping, the Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, gosh.
So she's been nominated for her outstanding work. And just honestly, fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
the pinnacle of excellence
Breathtaking.
on the climate change stuff, all that business. And she spoke this week at the ongoing Extinction Rebellion protest, which is the thing, I guess, in London. Here you go.
And we will never stop fighting. We will never stop fighting for this planet and for ourselves, our futures, and for the futures of our children and grandchildren.
What?
That's my dad.
Dad?
Your dad is one of the clowns from Rob Zombie's horror film?
Oh my
And
gosh.
conservatives say the left is satanic.
Nah.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to put on devil costumes and a white, but there's something really disconcerting about white dreadlocks.
It is, yeah. It's very diabolical.
It just doesn't
Right?
seem right.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Provocative.
It's like a troupe of actors that were unemployed, got bored one week, and they're like, let's go do stupid stuff that means nothing.
And here's what I want to sort of drive home. We're going to get into some details. A lot of people don't know the history necessarily of the Nobel Peace Prize and the winners, but it's going to be announced, I think, tomorrow. It is a sham.
Yeah.
This whole thing is a fraud, and it really is. What bothers me is that it's about optics. Now, this is different from prizes in science, prizes in, I think they have science, is it physics?
They have physics,
They have
economics.
literature, they have
Don't ask me to
economics,
lie.
but they haven't awarded an economics prize every year. It actually seems to be awarded the least consistently. I don't know why. So I'm not talking about, but the Peace Prize in and of itself, it's not about who is most deserving. It really is about optics, and that is something that at a certain point you just have to say, well, this serves no purpose. So if we're talking about climate change, right, let's go with that. Let's go with cleaning up the environment. Let's assume that humans can affect it. Let's assume that in some intergovernmental panel we could stop the 1.6 degree warming, which I would not be able to discern if that happened in the studio.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Okay, then how about giving it to Boyne Slat? He's a 25-year-old Dutch inventor, entrepreneur, CEO of, I think the company is Ocean Cleanup?
Yeah.
Ocean Cleanup. He's been working on cleaning up plastic pollution from the ocean since he was 16.
Oh, practical.
Just this week, he announced, after 5 years, over 250 models, he has this autonomous plastic retrieval system, and it's successfully retrieving debris from the ocean right now.
You mean
awesome.
he doesn't just talk?
No, exactly. So you
He
hear all
actually does
that,
something.
and you go, oh, okay, point taken. Counterpoint.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky
Empty
ones.
words.
Yeah.
People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Oh, that's so painful to
By the way, she also
watch.
got it for economics. She was getting that this year.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Step aside, Smith and Hayek.
I have a legitimate question. How in the world would you get a peace prize for, even if she solves global warming? Like, how's that a peace prize? It doesn't seem to fit the category.
So what you're saying is that the rules are shifting. And
I have
there's
a
no
procedural question.
objective point here.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
to understand that Greta Thunberg is winning this prize because instead of awarding it to real problem solvers, and I do think, even if I disagree with the politics, if someone is actively trying to solve a problem, great. This is all about politics.
Yeah.
It used to be for people like Martin Luther King Jr., Mother Teresa. I think it'd be tough to argue with that. Like when you think
Yeah,
of,
no.
I'm not a Catholic, we're not Catholic, but like Mother Teresa did some pretty good stuff.
Pretty good lady.
I don't have to agree with her on all church doctrine.
Right.
I'm a color me a Mother Teresa fan.
Celebrate
Canceled.
her entire catalog.
Cancel. Hashtag.
Susan Wojcicki has her finger on the button. Can I cancel? I'm not sure.
Yes.
But then we look at the 20th century, and it took a turn. So in 1994, let me give you a few examples. You know who won the Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize in 1994? Finger on the beat button. Yasser Arafat. And I say that to punctuate it. Yes, the founder, PLO, pioneered the terrorist technique of hijacking planes, murdered 47 people.
Yeah.
Innovative to be sure. He was the Steve Jobs of terrorism. Put a little black turtleneck on and make him a fruitarian, you couldn't tell the difference. Where did Steve Jobs go? I don't know.
Shave the beard.
Yes, sir! I should have known it was you, Yasser.
Oh my gosh.
But apparently when you're an actual terrorist, and by the way, is this hyperbole? No. When you're an actual terrorist, you get prizes just for quitting your hijacking habit a little bit.
Taking a break.
He's the Eddie Haskell of Nobel Peace Prize winners. Killed 47 people, then looks to the committee and goes, gee, your dress looks really great, Mrs. Cleaver. Kill him. If he shows up to accept the prize, kill him. Can we kill him? Can we kill him then? Not all people, just terrorists who kill 40-something people.
Just him.
I don't want to kill the next guy who I'm going to talk about.
No.
I just don't like him. So I want to make sure that I'm very clear. Operation! In case lest you thought we were going to become tasteful. No.
No.
In 2007, Al Gore won for his efforts to, I want to make sure I read the quote, disseminate greater knowledge about man-made climate change and to lay the foundations for the measures that are needed to counteract such change, along with doing stuff with masseuses.
I think more lying, I think, is what the prize was
No,
for.
he didn't lie to the masseuses. He told them what he wanted.
Well, he told them what he was.
Exactly
He lied,
what he wanted.
he lied to
Straightforward.
us.
And handsy.
You know,
He
the
lied.
subtitle here was they invented the internet. So,
Well,
you know, I mean,
and
that's-
pants.
That was pretty good. You know, I usually get more peaceful when I watch cat videos. So, you know, I mean, indirectly, Al
For you, that's a
Gore-
cooking show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm hungry all the time.
Oh my gosh. Can we retroactively take these away when it is proven like that these people are morons? Can we be like, we're going to go ahead and take your prize.
Well, effectively,
Take
Al
that
Gore
back.
got a Peace Prize for lying.
Yes.
That's it.
Damn you.
Yeah. But now I just can't get out of my head that half Asian Bill Richmond is watching cooking shows with cats. Is there like an Asian Guy Fieri who's like, I'm going to soak this Siamese in vodka! Oh!
We're back to killing cats again, really?
No, not killing, eating.
Diners, drive-ins, and jeering dissidents! Ha
There's a difference.
Racism's
It's a great
fun.
show.
I like to have a racist laugh. Don't forget, Barack Obama, of course, we talked about that. Barack Obama was awarded the Nobel Prize for his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. He wasn't even a year into his presidency. I don't remember the exact length of time. Little did they know that he would be the first president to be at war for all 8 years of his 2 terms. Ooh. People say, first president? Yes.
That's a bad record to have.
Not a good
For an anti-war president.
Yeah.
No, but he never. But what most unfortunately here is he never used drones to kill anyone.
No.
So that's really
that's not true.
critical for us to
Specifically.
remember. I think that was also noted in a footnote.
Yeah, no, it was fake news. He was just twitching. He was Twitch
it was,
live
it was an
streaming.
accident.
He likes to push other buttons.
Yeah, he thought it was a game.
And out of all those,
It's like some realistic jihadi game.
the worst though, lest you still think, well, I don't know, Al Gore, Obama, Yasser Arafat, I guess I can see it. I mean, I can't, but whatever floats your boat. Here, maybe this will convince you, will tip you over the edge. 2012, the Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to the European Union.
What is that?
Not a specific member, not the head
Just
of it, not
all
like
of
the
it?
spearhead, just the European Union. What does that even mean?
I don't even know.
How does
like,
that happen?
Oh, how full of yourself do you have to be to give a prize essentially to yourself? The European Union. It's just, we love it. It's
Yes.
wonderful.
You know, I do find it interesting is all the criticism on the left about Citizens United and other cases that say that corporations can donate and should have ability to exercise certain rights because they're a reflection of people, and just the outrage on the left about that. And yet, an entire discombobulated government body created out of whole cloth that has been an unmitigated disaster that everyone's fleeing from.
Do you remember what was happening in
Awarded.
2012? Economies were failing. Entire countries were going bankrupt in the European Union, but a prize is definitely in order.
It's feel good.
And it's
They
really
needed the gold.
I will tell you, I don't fully understand the European Union because Pantelis works for us. He helps write, and he's Greek. He blames the Germans, and then the Germans blame the Greeks. And I just think, just bomb that whole area of the
It's the
world.
Greeks. It's the Greeks' fault for sure.
Just destroy it.
Carpet.
It is remarkable too. While we're talking about the Peace Prize, the United States fought off, obviously, Europe. Right? We
Right.
fought off the old king. We're doing this special next week. We have this thing with Winston Churchill. A parody of Darkest Hour will be the intro. And what's funny is when you listen to that speech, though, he does talk about how if Great Britain falls, that the British Empire will continue the fight. And I'm going, well, what? Isn't that kind of like? I get that you didn't gas Jews. That's better. But like the British Empire, you did commit some atrocities.
A little bit.
Like you're really just saying we want our empire to continue and we don't want the Nazi empire. They're kind of just trying to do what you did, only supercharged with evil. When you consider it, like the United States is the only country throughout the history of mankind. By the way, European Union, Peace Prize. United States never got it. The United States kicked the ass of the British. Most countries would then say, all right, we're crossing the Atlantic and we're taking over their countries and stealing their shit.
Yeah.
Not to mention Canada. Canada still exists. Could you imagine in the old world? We are the only country who could take over every single other, and we don't. And then people try to say, well, your nation, but right now we're talking about this, for example, abandoning, right, the Kurds. And we'll talk about this more next week. I always wait for more evidence as it relates to international sort of foreign policy because we don't know what's going to unfold. But think about it for a second. Why is it not just another United States? We don't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Britain didn't do that. The Ottoman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Romans, anytime they could take land, they took it. So did the British.
Yeah.
We never got a Peace Prize. I'm just saying, I'm not sore about it, but I'm kind of sore about it.
No, I mean, and what's even better is that not only are we not going out there to create new states, now, of course, someone's going to say, oh, we're trying to install democracy in governments that don't want it. Okay, yeah, call us, fans of democracy.
Right.
But we're even trying to get rid of, there's an active movement to just drop California back to Spain. So we're actually reducing
I support
our
it.
land grab. Okay?
We're going overseas and trying to clean up your I'm sorry, that's exactly what's happening. You make a mess of things, we come over to try to make sure you drunk people don't fight, and then you get pissed at us.
And the people most upset about dropping California back to Spain are Mexicans because they'd have to relearn Spanish.
Yeah. It's just, soon it's going to be the Nevada-California border.
Mi pito.
It's
Do you mean
Catalan.
pene? That's the only word I know.
Catalan.
I don't know. Penis. Oh, by the way, hit the notification bell. Please do subscribe at Mug Club, loudercrowder.com/Mug Club. $69 for students, veterans, active military. You get the full Blaze catalog. Now you have Dave Rubin. It's the only thing to keep this available for free on YouTube, and there's like 80% more content there, episodes every single day. You just see a small clip here. And do check in, though, every day on YouTube, because we're not in suggested videos. If you search us, we don't even show up. But if you check back every day, there's always a new video at, is it 9 o'clock Eastern?
9 o'clock Eastern.
And then 8 o'clock live stream. All right, here's another point about Greta Thunberg. I guess it's kind of a hybrid of the Nobel Peace Prize. And let's go back to why Greta Thunberg is just the pits. For one, this isn't her fault. She's a child.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking about giving away a prize. Now, listen, I'm not saying, please let me be clear, I'm not saying that we should never listen to young people, like David Bowie and such. Like, I get it. These children that you spit on as they try to change their world.
I don't listen to British Empire music.
All right. I'm still on Friendster.
Yes, that's where
There we go.
And Metallica.
We're back.
You pussed out on Metallica last time, buddy. You don't get a second
What
bite at the apple.
happened to Ask Jeeves? I thought it was a surge. It made my life better. Okay. Netscape Navigator. It's really just Creed. It's just people like they just have no access to modern technology.
Right, yeah.
My point is, I'm not saying that you should never listen to young people. I think that we can learn a lot from young people. I really do. But allowing them to dictate policy?
Yeah.
I mean, and this is my biggest problem here is that they use these children as human shields to be immune from criticism, right? They did it with David Hogg. And let me tell you this, Republicans do it too.
Yeah.
At CPAC, I remember I had to introduce Jonathan Crone, who was like the conservative. How do we pronounce this there, Wade? Is it Wunderkind?
Yes. Wunderkind.
Yeah, that's I always hear it, Wunderkind.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
We're American.
It's like Wiener Schnitzel.
It's just like España. We're like, you, Spain. So
I'm going to change that.
We are like that.
That's pretty much what we do. By the way, they do it with us.
Bring
They
your
do it with
tapas.
us. We all do it.
Everything else, leave it.
Estados Unidos.
I'm sorry for the bleep button. But Republicans do it too. I had to introduce Jonathan Crone. Remember, I got into trouble because I was talking about it on Red Eye, and I said, I think I'm always uncomfortable with a 12-year-old sort of Alex P. Keaton lookalike because I think they're really parroting what their parents are telling them to say, and there's a very strong likelihood that he will end up being a pot-smoking hippie at Berkeley.
Yeah.
I was right about all of it, except he went to Columbia. And then there was another, I can't remember his name, there was a young black conservative who was making the rounds, wanted to be, I think we had him on once, but then he was supporting Ted Cruz, and he was supporting Bernie Sanders, and then he went back to Trump. Like, there is a lot of, I don't want to say grifting, but the thing is, like, there is an open avenue to push the gimmick of being young. And a lot of politicians...
Could you say their opinions aren't developed yet?
Yes, they're not. And by the way, you can have you can be a person who already has established your values. Like, my values aren't all that different from when I was 14 or 15 or 16.
Right.
But you shouldn't be given a national platform. And I certainly don't think that you should be allowed to dictate policy, international policy, when you have yet to make income.
Well, think about it. It's trying to make the messenger immune to bolster the message, right? You're saying if this thing was to stand, if the words she was saying were to stand on their own, then anyone should be able to say them. It shouldn't take the youths of Europe to come up and say, hey, this is what it is, to give it extra credibility. Right. But whenever they say those other things, it never gets this kind of attention and certainly doesn't get any kind of credibility.
I mean, if you went up at a UN climate panel and you just said, how dare you You ruined my dreams. They'd be like, I think Vision Bill's retarded.
I think they would. They would
He's
be
the
wondering,
R-word.
why is my hair braided? Why am I wearing a pink dress? And why am I talking like an idiot? Yeah, it just wouldn't make any sense.
I thought the Veruca Salt look-alike convention was next door.
It was more.
And by the way, he's also like he should not place because he does not look like Veruca Salt at all.
It was more Violet Beauregard, you know. Who's the German kid?
Augustus Gloop. Augustus Gloop. Did all those children die in that film?
Yes.
Did we ever see them again?
No, they died.
That's
They're all
awful.
dead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All except for Charlie.
Willy Wonka killed all of them.
Yeah, he did.
He promised them free chocolate and then committed murder.
Yeah, welcome to the real world.
Oh, God. All right. But yeah, you're right. They really are holding themselves so they are immune to criticism. Just watch this leftist lose his mind at the slightest criticism of Greta Thunberg.
You're a grown man and you're attacking a child. Shame on you. She's trying to do what she thinks is right. And by the way, now relax, skinny boy. I got this.
You're freaking out, not me.
A child.
Bring a skinny boy. He insults him.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Okay, you're just gonna act just because I banged your mom. Calm down. All right, slow your roll, Jew. Why are you doing this?
I mean, at first I was like, "Oh, is he complimenting him?" I was like, "Oh no, it's an insult." Okay,
I was
sorry.
going to the
How's that an insult?
Context
I don't
clues.
get it.
Context clues.
I
All
don't
right,
really
athletic
understand
person
it.
who could run and defend himself, just calm down.
Skinny boy.
All right, man who has a 40-yard dash that would be competitive at the combine. Piss off!
That's a nice guy.
You're not fit to hold Greta's braid. Now let's compare that. Let's compare that with the treatment of, if you remember, the Covington children.
Swift backlash against the behavior of those Kentucky teens who traveled to Washington this past Friday on a school trip to attend the March for Life. The Diocese of Covington Catholic High School, where some of the boys attend, condemning their actions, saying in a statement, this behavior is opposed to the church's teachings of dignity and respect. The matter is being investigated and we will take appropriate action, up to and including expulsion.
Yeah, I mean the behavior of simply standing there smiling while they're being berated by black Hebrew Israelites. What's happening? That is stroke. Black Hebrew Israelite.
Claire, he's turning
I thought
into
you were
him.
just speaking my language. Right? So kind.
And it makes it all the way up to the diocese.
Yeah,
I don't know. Shouldn't you be more concerned that those kids that they weren't had sex with? That people didn't make sex with them? Like that would be my concern.
Oh.
Just saying. Take an altar boy, leave an altar boy. The main difference here is that they didn't choose. When you talk about the company, they didn't choose to be in the spotlight.
They were just
right?
there.
Saying, well, how can you? No, I actually think that you can point out a double standard and say that one is defensible. A, they didn't do anything wrong. Not that Greta did anything wrong necessarily. I think her opinions are wrong.
Correct.
I think her parents have done something wrong. But when you compare it, like the Covington kids, it was someone with a phone who took it out of context, and then their lives were ruined. Greta decided to thrust herself into the spotlight. And so I do believe that there is a certain level of criticism which is valid at that point. You certainly shouldn't be immune from it just because of your age if you decided that you are going to be the torchbearer. That's just my thought. And I think, yes, we should be more forgiving of children. Right. Absolutely, they make mistakes. But they shouldn't all get a pass. No. Right? They shouldn't, like, if a kid murders somebody, like, we don't try them as an adult. Well, you know what, though? Like, you still... Timmy?
Naughty.
A little bit more stern than that.
You're going to be on the news.
And it's not going to be fun. If you are going to go out and represent any position, I don't care what your age is, you need to know your stuff. Like, you need to be, like, steeped in this. She basically just got pissed off and started skipping school on Friday to protest. And maybe she's done some research, but there is no way that she is capable of going out and giving a speech that has any substance. Look at what she said. Right. You've stolen my dreams. You've stolen my future. We're on the edge of an extinction. And none of that's true. And everybody's like, so brave. And
you're going to say something drama.
So what's interesting is even American law, as it relates to the First Amendment, has a concept of if you thrust yourself into the light, it's called being a public figure or a limited purpose public figure. So even a person who's private, who decides to actively put themselves into the light, is now at a different standard for defamation, slander, libel, those types of things. And it's a natural outgrowth of, of course, the King's Law that we've, derived some of our laws from. And the concept is very clear. If you choose that, you're giving up a certain level of ability to say, oh, I shouldn't be criticized.
Right,
Now,
yeah.
The law doesn't talk about the criticism part, but being able to say, hey, we're going to attack your ideas and push back on them and criticize them. And I think what you said is perfect. It's not that she did something wrong per se. She's subject to her parents putting her out there.
Yeah.
But we definitely have to criticize the ideas, and it's hard not to criticize those ideas without criticizing the vessel as well.
Let me clarify. This is everything wrong with the concept. This is everything wrong with the circus that is Thunberg. Okay, not necessarily her. So another point. Everything wrong about it. She's the mental issue. Can we not say mentally ill? As someone who's suffered from mental illness, and I've been pretty open about it. Thunberg is diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, also obsessive compulsive disorder, and a new one for me, selective mutism. And I know what you're thinking. Selective mutism sounds like bullshit. We'll come back to it. She was also said to suffer from severe depression, eating disorders, and panic attacks. Here's my question. Why? This is not about her. I'm not condemning her for struggling with what do they call it? Neurodiverse?
I don't know.
If she's struggling with depression, and as someone who has struggled with depression, it's a mental illness. Doesn't mean that it needs to be debilitating, but I think we should be honest about this, and I don't think we should silence people for bringing it up. I am not at all condemning Greta for struggling with whichever one of these afflictions she may have. But why would anyone in their right mind use her as a political pawn, knowing that she responds so poorly to stress? Yeah. This clip is sad.
Create a safe passage to... I'm sorry, my brain is not working correctly.
Yeah. And look, I hate to hear that cheer. She goes, tough. I'm sorry, my brain is not working. And they cheer. Like, listen, I'm sorry, if you're an adult and you say, I'm sorry, my brain is not working, people don't cheer. Right? And people are saying, well, give her a break. English is her second language. She's autistic. You know what I say? Yes. English is her second language. She's autistic, depressive, obsessive-compulsive, has anxiety-driven selective mutism. Let's give her a break by not thrusting her into an international spotlight where she will be forced to talk with multiple people and face justifiable criticism on a global scale. Now, let me posit something here, okay? I do believe, let me be really clear, I do believe in autism. I think it's Asperger's. Some people are saying it's not a thing. ADHD, I understand. Depression, yes. I'm not one of those people who thinks it's made up and it's all in your head.
Right.
Selective mutism, I don't know anything about. Has anyone else here heard about that before?
Never heard of it.
I've never heard anything about it, but I will say about all of the others, Asperger's, ADHD, I think we can also agree that a lot of these issues, they're overly diagnosed and kids are overly medicated.
Absolutely.
I think those two things can be true.
Absolutely, yes.
So the parents are obviously the ones guiding the ship that leads to these diagnoses.
Yeah.
The same parents, by the way, who dress her in the Antifa flag, lest you forget.
Oh my gosh.
But if you were to pick a person off a rack, right, and pick any mental affliction that you could in an attempt to make them immune from criticism, this is what you would pick. Think about it. You'd say, well, hold on a second. She's autistic, so she can't speak well. She's manic depressive. She has anxiety, so she may not be able to perform. And she has selective mutism, so she won't answer your questions.
Yeah.
Also Antifa. So she might throw a bottle at your head.
You never really know.
The other part of that is also think about someone who would be the most likely to be susceptible to the type of brainwashing.
Yes.
The ready to accept whatever is said without facts, and then to give an emotional plea. I think that she's actually feeling the emotions that you see there, but are those emotions based on any facts? I think that's a very different thing.
And there was more outrage over Michael No's comment, pointing out that she had mental illness, not making fun of her for it, not making a point about her being stupid and she can't talk, just pointing out, by the way, that wasn't Oppo research that revealed it. It was a book that her mom wrote that revealed all of that. That wasn't like we had to go out and dig up stuff on her. We were just reporting it. And nobody's pissed off at the parents. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
I don't see this as manipulation.
It's borderline child abuse.
It could end very badly.
Canceled. By the way, point number 4 that's wrong with Greta Thunberg is the cultism, right? This cult of personality. Maybe the most bizarre aspect of this is they're actually celebrating Greta as some sort of saint.
Oh, yeah.
We've said this for a while, that the left's new religion, it's just secular humanism. It's earth worship. It's Gaia. It's climate change alarmism, right?
Yep.
We want to solve the problem, kill all people. That's what it is. Let's consider the context here. NBC, they've now launched a website where you can confess your climate sins.
What?
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Hey, multinational billion-dollar corporation NBC, you first. How about that? How many people how many people had to develop that website when they were drinking from aluminum Red Bull cans and having caffeine farts?
Those are a thing?
I'm just saying, did you need to do the box set of The Office? Couldn't you just put them in a manila envelope?
Yeah.
Let's just be real here. If we're talking about sacrifices, you guys can make the most, right? We talk about taxing the rich. Well, how about we talk about the people who waste the most as far as plastic, as far as emissions, space? How about you confess first and change it up? Mm-hmm. Now we have op-eds. They're referring to Greta as Joan of Arc. Climate activists have been portraying her as Mary or Christ, and Sarah Silverman.
Jeez.
Both Sarah Silverman and have you seen Sarah Silverman in the Church of what?
Was this Sarah Silverman in blackface or not Sarah Silverman?
This was not different. No, this was just normal Sarah Silverman.
Okay, sorry. I didn't see the clip, so I wasn't
It was Sarah Silverman in Horseface.
Oh, okay,
it's the less funny Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
Sarah Silverman and the Church of Sweden, they've declared her the successor of Jesus Christ, which is odd considering that Silverman doesn't even believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Well, why do you have to push this person to sainthood? I don't understand why you're looking for I don't think this is Greta's fault that people are doing this, right? I think people are just stupid. They're just really stupid.
You're the second coming of Moses.
I don't want to be the second coming of Moses.
I don't think he understands. The point is, I'm a Jesus guy.
I don't want to be
It's
a
just
pirate.
odd to me that someone who's an atheist Jew, she's the second coming of Christ.
Hey, you've got to give Greta Thunberg some credit here. I mean, it takes a lot to make someone see someone else as God, okay?
It's
and
true.
to believe in
No,
it. So
in this case, it doesn't take a lot. It takes somebody saying, "You stole my dreams." That's all it is.
Why do they sound like the kids from Flowers in the Attic?
What do you think?
You never came for us, mother. All right.
It sounds
I think it's the
bad.
final point here. Point number 5. We do have to get to the HodgeTwins soon.
Yeah.
She's Greta. This is one herself. She is a fraud. The idea, what's been built around her, is fraudulent. She made headlines that she was sailing, right, instead of flying to the United States to avoid emissions. Here's something they don't tell you. Her crew, not one or two, her whole crew then had to fly back. Likely producing more emissions than it would have just taken to fly her there in the first place. You sailed across the Atlantic on your own. Congratulations, you get a Peace Prize. Oh wait, you just rowed the sailboat while the crew operated it and then flew back.
Yeah.
It's remarkable to me. Again, all of this is a photo op. It really is propaganda. And then after all that, of course, she attended the UN Climate Change Action Summit and she filed a complaint against 5 countries. Yeah, we should get right on that.
That's good. Yeah.
Not among them, by the way, China. Sorry, Bill. Biggest producer of CO2 emissions. I don't know who you got to talk to there, but put it in the suggestion box.
Yeah, exactly. Bad on human rights, bad on climate.
I think one of the interesting things is when you dive into the process for this. So people don't know this. Most people think, Alfred Nobel, he's Swedish. All of the other awards are given by a Swedish committee. The Peace Prize is given by a Norwegian committee. The Nordic government gets to choose who's on that committee. And the guy who was proposing that the European Union be an awardee, he's still on the committee now. There are 2 members. A minority of this 5-person committee is actually pro-conservative. But we'll see how the actual votes come out when things come out. Because the clear change has been that they're willing to do this for politics as opposed to anything else.
That was incredibly insightful, but you lost me at Swedish and Norwegian because I don't understand the difference.
I think if you look at the Swedish chef versus,
Vikings,
versus what?
you'll get it.
I don't know.
Vikings, yeah.
I do know that Iceland is very nice. Greenland covered with ice.
Yeah.
I found that out from Mighty Ducks 2, the girl who was dating Gordon Bombay when they went out for ice cream. So let me just tell you, and that is word for word. I don't know why I remember this. I'm probably more disturbed than Greta's parents.
Impossible.
In many ways.
I don't blame Greta. I really don't. I want to be really clear here, lest we be banned or for the opera. I have no idea. You know what? Fair play. Fair play. I do blame the parents and the people, all people who use children as political pawns. And if anything, I wish that I could talk to Greta and tell her that these people, just like we said this about David Hogg, and look, where is David Hogg now?
Yeah.
These people are going to use you up, Greta. Chew you and spit you out. The end result of political wunderkinds, it perfectly mirrors that of child stars. Right? The most valuable skill that Greta needs to acquire in life right now, Greta, if I could talk to you, it's not confidence, it's not boldness, it's not bravado, it's discernment. Specifically discernment in who to trust. That's going to be big for you, sweetheart. I really don't want to see you go the path of David Hogg or Corey Haim. All right, we have the HodgeTwins coming up after this. I'm looking forward to it. But have your finger on the beat.
This is for all you lovers out there.
my dad?
Watch this and more at our other channel, Crowder Bits.
Dude, you are so bad at this game. I just keep killing you over and over again. Yes! That's what you get, man. You need some kind of training or something. Somebody to get your skills up.
I'm gonna look at some tutorials and stuff.
Yeah, you need it.
Hello? Yes? The police? Yes. That is the correct address.
Hi, I'm the police. Is that the guy?
Yes, it is.
What did I do?
We got a complaint about you making terrorist threats. I quote, "I'm going to kill you over and over again." Raise a red flag.
Come on, it was just trash talk, dude. Dude, tell him.
It's guns in the other room, I believe.
It's good enough for me.
Some of you may be concerned with what you're hearing about red flag laws. You need to protect yourself from being on the wrong side of a red flag law. That's why you need firearms legal protection. With our 24/7 emergency hotline and plans designed specifically for the firearms owner, firearms legal protection is the best legal protection you can have for self-defense.
Did you say dingle dine?
Dingle down, I think.
Dingle down?
I don't know.
I've heard of white Americans who are out of touch with black culture, but that's just ridiculous. I don't know. How are we supposed to know what dingle down is?
What kind of terminology is that?
Canadians are the worst at it. Canadian black people, it's like this hybrid of them wanting to be
black people up there.
Very few. Most of them are just Haitian, and French Canadians can't stand them because they're racist. But we had a few black kids who would like create this lingo, and it was a hybrid of Canadian as well as American, and that's when it started to chill. Like, yo, dude, that's so chill. Is one. I think that's the thing now. Another one was that's jokes. Someone said that to me once, and they might say that's funny. I said, man, that's jokes. I said, what?
Okay.
But jokes, what are you talking about? Like, do you mean joke isn't a verb? And I don't know what he was talking about. And we weren't friends.
He's like, yeah.
So I guess the liberals won. They divided and conquered through language yet again. That's jokes. What does that mean? All right, maybe our next guest can help us. Crowd favorites, you know them, you love them. You can follow them at HodgeTwins. Before I bring them on, I'm going to toss to a clip. You can follow them at HodgeTwinsTour.com because they're speaking live quite a bit. And they're doing more of that now since YouTube apparently is giving them similar treatment as ourselves. It's all
going around.
But listen, let me set this context before we bring them on. The first time we had them in the studio, they were like, man, I don't know, because they weren't out of the they weren't really conservative, right? They kind of were just, I thought, military entrepreneurs. They might instinctively be more traditional, successful. And I think I read an interview with them in like the Rob Report, which is basically like a it's like a magazine about yachting. I don't know, maybe they have a yacht. But now it seems as though they've crossed over entirely because I caught the full video. We just have a clip of them headlining the Black Leadership Summit, I believe, from Turning Point USA. Here you go. Here's a quick clip.
Just the other day, man, this lady on Instagram called me a bootlicking Uncle Tom. I was like, man, why can't I just be an Uncle Tom? I gotta lick their boots too.
All right. I think they're here. HodgeTwins, Keith and Kevin, can you hear me, sirs?
Yes, loud and clear. Thank you for having us.
Well, you are welcome. But you don't have to lick my boots. Listen, it's okay. You're already here. we gave you a good plug. What happened here? You were sort of pulled into this kicking and screaming, and now I see you headlining a summit from one of the most reviled right-wing organizations in the world. Tell us the transition. How did that occur?
Well, it started with you about a couple years ago.
I'm sorry.
Remember when you grabbed us on that show, you just stuck us in the corner and said, come on, do it.
That's right. And then one of you said that you voted for Mitt Romney, and I think you got some flack for that.
Yeah, it turns out he's a rhino. He's a fake Republican.
Right.
I think that whole Obama thing was a setup.
Really?
He ran against two rhinos and a horrible white woman. That's how you put it.
Yeah, I guess so. Pretty much everyone loses. Let me ask you this. First off, before we move on to TPUSA and what you're doing, you guys have had some stuff happen on YouTube, right? Did you you had a video removed for hate speech? Is that what I'm hearing?
Second video removed for hate speech. Yeah. It was the Pete Buttigieg video. We did a video because he was on The Breakfast Club talking to Charlemagne the God. I still don't know why they call him the God. It should be Charlemagne the Fool, but we did a video because...
Why is it called Charlemagne? I mean, that's a historical reference. Like, do you think he knows?
Just trying to latch onto it.
I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your story. I'm just out of touch white guy. Continue.
Time to talk here, Steven.
Apologies.
Well, we did a video on Pete Buttigieg. He was on the Breakfast Club. He was actually using the Bible to try to
advocate for
abortion. So we did a video. I didn't say nothing too mean. I was paraphrasing from the Bible. I said, "Thou shalt not sticketh, thou mushroom tippeth, in thy ass." That's all I said. And I told him to shut up because he don't even have sex with women. And you don't even have the right to begin with.
Right.
You're trying to steal. Because I think men need to have more rights. Because right now, if you're in a relationship with a woman, you could get in a huge argument, right? And that woman, 6, 7, 8 months, can go get an abortion. Yeah. And I don't have no say-so. That's all I'm telling Pete Buttigieg, shut up.
Yeah. I don't necessarily know how you make that leap to, hey, men should have a say in what we do with our offspring, to mushroom tip in sphincter. Which, thank you, though, for repeating exactly what it was that got your video removed on my program.
Yeah, we're getting notifications.
I appreciate it, guys.
This video's a goner.
Yes, and I think you were calling, actually, Darren, my dad, is the booker for the show. He's worked for, and did you call asking about the half Asian lawyer? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, I say, man, what's up with this half Asian dude lawyer, man? I need some help. Because we got over 200,000 subscribers on our Conservative Twins channel now, and we got a second strike. We're on the verge of losing that channel for hate speech.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Wow.
Which is all that work that went to this channel. Yeah. It's on the verge of being taken down because you know the third strike, they delete your channel.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, it's frustrating.
Well, I will say half Asian lawyer Bill Richmond is plenty busy with me, but I'll see what he can do. Maybe he can sort of feather you into the LGBTQ lawsuit against YouTube.
Yeah, see if he can find room for half black guys,
Yes. Yeah. Apparently YouTube didn't see your 23andMe, otherwise they'd be shaking in their boots, which you would subsequently lick. Let me ask you. You have to. That's just, them's the breaks. Sorry. You didn't choose to be born into that skin. What was it that happened? Not only YouTube has gotten upset with you, but you lost followers from doing some of your political videos, which surprised me because it seems like your audiences are packed now when you perform live.
Yeah, it's nothing but white people. Like when we came out the closet, right? We came out the closet about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
We was doing it to help black people, show black people you don't have to vote based on your skin color.
Yeah.
Right? And our shows used to have a whole lot more color to them. But now when we get to our show, man, it looks like a Bruce Springsteen concert. It's like a handful of black people.
Yeah, when we was at Turning Point USA, I thought I walked into the Twilight Zone. It was a number of black people wearing MAGA hats. I was like, this just looks weird to me.
Right. And you know what's crazy? They look so happy.
Yeah.
Man, looked like Trump just gave them reparations or something. It was amazing.
But I was so happy, man. That's what I was trying to do, man. I was trying to help black people come out and perform in front of a bunch of black folks wearing MAGA hats.
Yeah. And I think it was important because you have a lot of people who sort of come up through the ranks as, I'm a black conservative. That's my thing. You guys, Reg is actually here right now, one of our researchers who is a very, very strong guy. He's competed in powerlifting. He's been a fan of yours for a long time. And when we brought you in, you didn't come up as black conservative commentators. You were successful black entertainment artists who then came out of the closet as conservatives. So you stood to lose something, which is why I think it was harder and I think is more helpful to people out there. Because it's one thing to look at it as a career path, like, oh, I know if I say the right things as a black conservative, I can get some speaking engagements. You guys actually lost some fans in the process.
Yeah, like that's one of the biggest comments we get from black people. Y'all just doing it for the money. I didn't need money to do this. I mean, I just did this because that's how I feel. I want to share ideologies with people. But a lot of people, black people, they think we're doing it for money.
Yeah, I was already selling out shows. We sell out shows across the world.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely doing this because I believe in it. I didn't need the followers. I didn't need the fans. I was just trying to help a lot of stupid black people.
Well, you wanted to help the black community, and this is an interesting way to do it. Did it ever occur to you that maybe perhaps just fake a hate crime?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I'm not that smart. I should have.
Because it seems like that's a quick path to victory now. I mean, you bleach and I wouldn't even want to say rope. No. It's like a bungee cord that would be used for a dog crate, a dog kennel that he had. Did you see that video when Jesse Smollett finally had the rope? It was like, that's not even a real rope.
The whole thing was ridiculous.
Looked like shoestrings.
Yeah.
And there was a black guy, I think, where was that, Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
I guess he had an ice cream shop in a a pizza place, right? Business wasn't doing so good, so he breaks into his own business and like vandalizes the place, right? On the wall, he paints monkey,
a swastika,
and of course he had to go with the N-word, right? But to seal the deal, to put the cherry on top, he painted on the wall, "Make America Great Again." This country is so great right now. You got black people committing fake hate crimes.
Hate crimes on themselves.
Yeah, it does. Do you usually see these crimes in the news and think probably fake? Have you reached that point now where you tend to lean toward it's fake until proven otherwise?
As soon as I see that they put MAGA on the walls, I know it's fake, because "Make America Great Again" does not stand. That slogan's not to bring back slavery. Yeah. That's what the TV's told black people. Yeah. So when I see a black person victim of a hate crime, I know they did it.
Yeah. Like that one incident with Mike Brown. He said, "Hands up, don't shoot." I was like, what innocent man walks down the street and cop pulls over and say, "Hands up, don't shoot"?
Right.
I would say if I just robbed somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I'll be like, "Excuse me, officer. What seems to be the problem today?"
Right.
That's what I would.
But you would just do that to distract him while you reached for his gun and clubbed him with it. I would imagine. That's Well, let me ask you this though: have you ever encountered? And it doesn't mean that this doesn't happen, but encountered to the degree that it's fake, those kinds of racist actions or hate crimes? Like, have you ever actually encountered someone who has painted a Nazi, a swastika in your bathroom, or written MAGA on your Chevrolet Cavalier?
Never.
Never.
I've never seen a swastika unless it was on a computer or TV. I've never went anywhere in public since I was born seeing a swastika, Nazi. I've seen the N-word in bathrooms.
Yeah, but it's not. It's just a public bathroom. I've seen the last time I was called an N-word by a white woman is when I was driving in California. I didn't see her cut off. I damn near killed her, right?
You kind of deserved it.
So she pulled up. And
I'm like, "You tell him, baby. What you watch where you going, you dumb nigga."
So I kind of had that one coming. But that was like 12 years ago.
Yeah. So I guess your strategy with this this hit here on the show is you were going to bring us down with you and ensure that our channel gets removed as well.
Oh, there's the strike.
I need somebody to go with me.
Yes. Well, then I can't champion your cause once you're gone. You still need me here. You want me on this line.
Take us both out.
Now, how did Turning Point USA? Go ahead. Sorry.
What was that?
Well, I'm just wildly entertained. So honestly, the questions are a formality at this point. So if you can just take the ball and run with it. But how did Turning Point USA come around? Because that's really sort of more of a traditional Republican organization. Like, that's not what you guys do. You guys do stand up. You guys did videos and fitness stuff. So when I saw that, it was like I was in the Twilight Zone. I'm going, well, hold on a second. Do the people at TPUSA have they ever seen the HodgeTwins live?
Yeah, your dad seen me. I seen your dad in the crowd when we came to Texas. Your dad was just like,
yes.
That was a great show.
So we definitely had to like clean up our act before we did this. Yeah. So we didn't curse or anything. We just, we
gave a speech, made it funny. I definitely do what I do on stage.
What?
We didn't do what we did on stage.
Yeah.
We changed it up a lot.
Yeah, we're actually professional. We're behaving like white men.
Yeah. Actually, we first ran into Charlie Kirk at the airport.
Yeah.
Really?
And we met him there. Yeah, we met him in the airport. We put up a picture on Instagram. He always said he wanted to get us to talk. I was like, no, you don't. And then we've been going back and forth with Candace Owens on Instagram. And they reached out to my agent. I said, hey, let's give it a try.
So
these are going to be very, very good or very, very bad.
Well, that could be a road to Kanye then. Maybe you could have Kanye. You guys are starting a new podcast, right? Maybe Kanye could be your first guest.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I guess it would be cool.
Very interesting.
It would be. Well, you don't have to be that white. Still keep a little bit of you. Like, keep enough. What I would just be sort of like be Abercrombie black. Like, be black enough that we get where you're coming from, but you don't intimidate white people.
Abercrombie black is being gay.
No, being Abercrombie black in the black community is Uncle Tom black.
Right.
We can call it Uncle Tom's cabin.
All right, well, listen, we're going to go to Web Extended. I could listen to you guys all day, but it is HodgeTwins, at HodgeTwins on Twitter, HodgeTwinsTour.com. Before we go to the Web Extended, for people who are not in Mug Club, where are your next dates for people to look for?
HodgeTwinsTour.com, and we got a YouTube channel. Hopefully, it's not been deleted yet. Conservative Twins.
Right. Okay. Are there any cities coming up very soon?
We're in Texas in November. We're going to San Antonio, Arlington, Dallas. We're trying to go back to Austin, but that's a liberal hole. So, that's the
Not
Portland
wrong.
of Texas.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Houston, yeah. I don't think you can call that place a liberal hole on the show, man. Have some respect.
Oh yeah, because that's the biggest gripe we have with this interview. I'm sure Wojcicki at this point, that's the bridge too far. She has her finger on the ban cancel button. She's like, no, N-word, no, mushroom tip and butthole, no.
Steven,
Austin.
Free speech. What happened to free speech, man? You used to could say whatever you want. Now you can't say anything. And we're not saying whatever we want. I mean, if I said whatever I want, I can understand. But I'm just talking. Yeah, I'm just making jokes. We can't even make jokes anymore. These people are crazy.
Yeah, well, it seems to be that's the reaction from a lot of folks. We were just talking about like Quarter Black Garrett was recognized in New York by a black guy. Yeah. And was a big fan. He just said, he said, quarter black? Yeah. I'm all black. And we were like, oh, okay, here you go. Yeah. And then he took his wallet, which we thought was distasteful. Nothing like perpetuating the original stereotype. All right, at HodgeTwins, HodgeTwinsTour.com. We're going to go to the web extended, but for those on YouTube, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks again to everyone who supported us and joined up at Mug Club. Please do, if you want the show to continue, louderwithcrowder.com/Mug Club. And outside of Mug Club, which keeps the lights on, our longest running sponsor, our main sponsor, I'm really excited to talk about here today, Walther. You know, I've talked about this before. There are all kinds of great firearms out there. They have the balls to sponsor the show. We just ask that you try the Walther if you're in the market for a firearm. But they're actually doing right now what they're calling a fall comfort carry giveaway. I don't necessarily know what that means or where the title came from, but one lucky winner is going to receive one Walther PPS M2 pistol. It's awesome. That's my carry gun. One DeSantis Pro Stealth holster. Haven't used it, but I hear it's awesome. And then one Stinger Ridge Ballistic Range Edition sunglasses kit. Combined retail, I think it's like $450 something, the retail value. So enter today for free. You don't have to pay anything. WaltherArms.com/contest. That's WaltherArms.com/contest. They're great. They support the show. I love their products. We reached out to them initially because I used Walther firearms. I was a revolver guy until I fired a Walther semi-automatic. So for them to do a giveaway, can I enter? Am I allowed to enter?
This is a culmination. This is the peak.
One of those members from down south. Honduran? No. Salvadorian? No. Colombian, Argentinian, Peruvian, Chilean, Brazilian? He's Mexican. Canceled. 2 gay penguins adopted an abandoned egg. We really just felt that it was beating a dead gay horse. Stop it. These were the jokes that didn't make it. It's all downhill from here. Dr. Wizard, Master, Guru, Crowder. I appreciate all of it except for Wizard. We don't need you tarring us. I asked a girl with no legs out on a date without knowing that she didn't have legs because we met in a drive-thru. Help. I had no idea until I met him, by the way, that he was Asian.
If you're watching, close your eyes. Hi, Bill Richmond here. In the top of the inning, we have Don Smith coming up to the plate. I mean, none of that sounds anything other than so crackery cracker.
Not even a tinge. LouderWithCrowderShop.com, supporting free speech since 2000 and something. With people being banned from social media left and right, you can now purchase this deplatform this limited edition LouderWithCrowderShop.com t-shirt, signifying your insubordinance to authority and request for them to kiss your ass and lick your balls. LouderWithCrowderShop.com today. That's called the plugging actually non-sponsor cowboy boots. I realized I was going to say I don't want to say the brand of these cowboy boots because we want them to be a sponsor eventually.
Can't give it to them for
but
free.
I think people could see it on the soles, so we'll blur that out. Can't give it to you for free. But I do like these boots. They're fun boots. They're fun boots because they have a zip. They're not super cowboy-ish. They don't have the Cuban heel. That's what they call it. I don't know why they call it a Cuban heel.
That's weird.
I don't know. By the way, hey, HodgeTwins, the web extended is available on, of course, Mug Club, Blaze TV. A lot of stuff there that they could not say here on YouTube.
Yes.
I just let them run with it. And don't forget the Halloween A&M Spooktacular, October 31st, louderwithcrowder.com/tour. Looking forward to seeing you guys there. Going forward, we're going to be doing it Halloween and the St. Patrick's Day Extravaganza. So at least twice a year. So you can put your school in the running. Okay.
Yeah. Close
this up because I'm getting very near the end of this now. You know, I hear this all the time, okay? And I just heard it the other day. And it kind of bothered me. It was a girl telling her friend that you deserve to be happy, and it was used as a springboard to this idea now that everyone deserves to be happy. We hear that a lot. Like everyone deserves to be. You deserve to be happy. Here's the thing: individually, many people, many of you, deserve to be happy. As a universal rule, absolutely not. I think not. Not everyone deserves to be happy. Now, you probably believe it. You probably believe that you deserve to be happy. Here's the thing. No, you don't. You do not deserve to be happy. And let me tell you why I'm talking about this. I think it's incredibly corrosive and damaging if people actually believe this, not just on a societal scale, but on a personal one. By definition, deserve is a transitive verb, okay, outlining something of which you are worthy or for which you have merit. Not everyone, by that definition, deserves to be happy. As a matter of fact, this is uncomfortable. Some people, some of you, many of you actually, deserve to be distinctly unhappy. People who do bad things, people who make bad decisions, people who hurt other people. Do they deserve to be happy? And I think it's important to highlight this, not only because it's narcissistic, not only because it's just wrong, but because this myth, this lie, that we tell ourselves that people think of as sort of a benign greeting card slogan, if believed, can ruin you, doom you for all time. Just I've talked about the idea that, you're perfect the way you are. That's a lie, but Pink wrote a song about it, so everyone seems to believe it now. If your starting off point in life, right, it's predicated on this notion that you deserve to be happy simply through the qualification of having a pulse, not only is it going to lead you astray through how it dictates your actions, it'll also remove the lens of self-criticism that's required to improve as a person. It will ultimately rob you of the tools that you need to achieve true happiness. Here's the truth. Happiness is earned. Happiness it's a yield. Think of it as an investment, okay? If you invest well, if you're disciplined, if you treat people well, if you take the right actions, you gain interest. You get more back. By the way, as a side note here, Dennis Prager has talked about this. I do believe, I'll talk about this another day, that it's your moral obligation to attempt to be happy. I don't mean to be selfish at the cost of others, but to live a life with a grateful heart and a joyous countenance. Why? Because, again, Dennis Prager said this is not original. I want to be really clear. All credit to him. He's talked about it for a long time. If you could do one thing that would guarantee you, people around you, your friends, your family, that they would be happier right now, would you do it? Well, you can. It's by being happy. It's by smiling more. So it is a worthy goal. I want to be clear about that. Going back to happiness, thinking of it as a yield, though, a return on investment. Let's say you don't invest. And by that, I mean you don't invest in improving yourself, living a virtuous life. Above all else, you don't invest in serving others. Why would you ever think that you're worthy of reaping the benefits? Let's go a step further. What should you reap? If you don't invest in those ideas, those actions, that lifestyle, what do you think you deserve? And I say this in part, again, because this was inspired by this conversation between two women. One was going through a divorce, and her friend told her, she said, sweetie, you deserve to be happy. Now, as far as I could tell, okay, this wasn't a divorce due to domestic abuse, infidelity. It was more so along the lines of it just wasn't working. I don't have all the ins and outs, so let me just be clear here, but we probably know people like this. The decision, though, was that it wasn't working, and so this woman would make a life-altering decision predicated on the idea that she wasn't happy and she deserved it. Do you see the irony there? And I'm not just talking about the fact that, as a general rule, divorce does not lend itself toward long-term happiness. Statistically, quite the opposite. but I'm not even, let's put that on the shelf. This woman was justifying a decision that would knowingly harm another human being, her husband, potentially irreparably, through the notion that she deserved happiness. Why? What parts of that action merits happiness? I'm going to hurt someone else because I deserve to be happy? And then I had to wonder how many decisions were made based on this false, evil idea that everyone deserves happiness that ultimately led to this situation in the first place. Just using this as an example here. By the way, could have been a two-way street in this relationship. Maybe he didn't want to sit down and listen to her talk about her problems. Why? Because it made him happier to play video games. And guess what? He deserves what he gets if that's the decision he makes. Maybe she didn't support his dreams because it would cut into the time of her hobbies, which would make her happy. And she thinks she deserves that. Maybe they never went to marital counseling because they'd rather hang out with friends, which in the moment made them happier. And by God, they deserve that happiness. You don't deserve happiness. It's not a birthright. And this goes back to the fundamental difference between the right and the left, okay? Today's progressive left, they believe in enforcement of equal outcomes because everyone deserves to be happy. Conservatives, constitutionalists, like whatever you want to call us, like myself, we believe in freedom because everyone has a birthright to enjoy the opportunity of pursuing happiness that they deserve. But again, deserve by definition means earned. And here's my challenge to you this week, okay? If you're watching, you're listening, and you find yourself unhappy. If you're happy, move on down the trail, okay? Good for you. If you're unhappy, have you asked yourself why? Now, barring mental illness, okay, so don't try and hang me on that here. I understand these are extenuating circumstances. Barring that, if you're not happy, ask yourself why. Take a minute, and then I want you to answer two questions for me right now, okay? One, why are you unhappy? What is it that's going on in your life? What results are you seeing that are making you unhappy? Question number two, this is a tough one. If you're unhappy, do you deserve it? Okay? I want you to retrace the steps that led you to this point, the decisions you've made. Do you really feel that you deserve happiness? Or maybe, just maybe, are you getting right now what you actually deserve? And I don't offer this up as judgment, okay? Because here's the good news. Just like getting yourself out of debt or recovering from an injury, you can earn happiness. It's never too late. You are never beyond redemption. No matter where you are in your life, you can turn it around and start taking steps to being truly happy right now, today. Now, when I say to be truly happy, because happiness is earned, I mean that. I mean earned happiness, honest happiness. Otherwise, it's just hollow and fleeting, and you're lying to yourself. You may not deserve to be happy today, but you can be starting tomorrow. Hopefully that helps. Look at it that way. I'll see you next week.